What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with some breaking Blue Jackets pre-NHL draft trade news as Don Waddell strikes again. Literally, I was just scrolling through Twitter, minding my own business, and bang! From Pierre LeBrun on Twitter, and I quote, "Hearing CBJ trading for Charlie Coyle from Colorado. Out of nowhere. Hitting me like an RKO. Alright. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I need to find out as much about this dude as possible. So what do? I run over to Hockey Reference and I take a look at his page. And he's in his 30s, right? 33 years old. Okay, cool. His nickname's Sir Charles. That's dope. And he's a center slash right wing. And of course, he's a right shot forward. So that's good. Yep. Now, the next thing I wanted to find out is his contract, right? And for that information, we go to Mark Sheeg on Twitter, who covers the Blue Jackets. And this is what he said, and I quote, "Charlie Coyle has one season left at $5.25 million cap hit, then is a UFA." Okay, so he's going into a contract year. All right. I'm sure he'll be hella motivated to maybe get one more contract before he hangs up the skates. Now, some other information from Mark Sheeg as well, and I quote, "Also has a no-move clause at Puckpedia, so apparently he has approved this trade." They went up to him and said, "Charlie, we're going to trade you to Columbus. Are you down with that?" And he probably said, "Why not? They're a young team. They were like this close to the playoffs last year. Down." So, I'm just getting over us trading for Charlie Coyle. I'm waiting for the full package to come out. And then, dang, again from Pierre LeBrun, and I quote, "CBJ also getting Miles Wood in this trade." So again, I run over to Hockey Reference, and I look up this guy. He's a left winger, and he's a left shot winger as well. Okay. And he's only 29. He'll be turning 30 in September. Okay. So again, I go scouring, looking for contract information, and we go to Aaron Portzline for that. And this is what he said, and I quote, "Miles Wood is signed for 4 more years at $2.5 million per season." And then, of course, much like Charlie Coyle, he also has a no movement clause. So if we want to trade them at some point, we need their approval. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at their stats. So starting off with Charlie Coyle, 83 games, 17 goals, 18 assists, 35 points. All right, cool. And then we look at Miles Wood, 37 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. All right. Not too bad. The bottom 6 has definitely improved by a mile after this trade. Now, speaking of the trade, we go to Pierre once again for the trade package. And it's a pretty hefty one. The full trade package from Pierre LeBrun, and I quote, 2 Avs, prospect Gavin Brindley, a 3rd-round pick tomorrow, 77th overall, and a conditional 2nd-round pick in 2027. And of course, Columbus gets Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood. No salary retained. Now, what's the condition? Man, you don't want me to dig into that stuff. There's too much crap to talk about with that, man. My God. It's It's a whole hullabaloo. I'm not going to dig into that. You guys can look it up on your own. But the Blue Jackets do have 2 of them. So, yeah, makes things interesting. Let me see if I can scrounge up something on that condition. Pretty sure Portsline said something about it. I'm not going to pull it up. All right, here we go. Condition on second round pick is interesting. CBJ have 2 second round picks in 2027. Theirs and Minnesota's that they got from the David Jiricek trade. If it behooves the Jackets to keep their own pick, you need that pick for many offer sheet levels, yes. They can trade the other to Avs. If Columbus trades either of those picks between now and 2027, the other automatically gets sent to the Avs. Does this mean Don Waddell is fixing to go RFA hunting next summer with offer sheets? Not necessarily. But with no 2026 second round pick, Columbus are limited in that way now. So, yeah, there's the condition. A lot to talk about there. Now, finally, we get to hear from Don Waddell as Jeff Svoboda, I guess, did a little thing with Don Waddell. And this is what Don had to say. And I quote, CBJ GM Don Waddell on the trade. Charlie is an experienced two-way player that adds size and versatility to our group, while Miles is one of the fastest skaters in the NHL who provides great energy and physicality. Damn. He liked that. He's really one of the fastest players in the NHL? So if we're out here doing the dump and chase, he's going to be that guy that beats everybody down the ice to get the goal, to get the puck? He's the kind of guy you want on a breakaway? All right. At least he ain't no sloth. That's good. Need some speed on the back, on the bottom 6. Good stuff. Overall, like the trade, and it'll be interesting to see what else Don Waddell has for us heading into this weekend. Do we actually make both first-round picks tonight? And I know you guys are probably wondering what happened with Noah Dobson. Because, of course, I made that video earlier today talking about the Blue Jackets being amongst the finalists for his services. In fact, it even came out that Noah Dobson said that he would be willing to sign an extension with the Blue Jackets. But as you'd expect, given the fact that the Isles and the Blue Jackets are indeed division rivals in the Metro, the division rival tax existed, and I was expecting the Isles to look at the Habs, and sure enough, they did. Mm-hmm. So he went to the Habs, and I'm pretty sure they just tweeted about the package at some point. Pretty sure Frank Saravalli tweeted about it. Let me see here. I know it was a pretty steep package. Oh, here it is. This is the Noah Dobson trade, okay? So to the Habs goes right defenseman Noah Dobson, contract extension 8 years by $9.5 million. And then to the Isles goes a 2025 number 16 and 17 in the first round. So both first rounders. And a forward, Emil Heineman. As reported, expect the Islanders to leverage those picks to move up to try and grab Hankins. Okay. So glad we didn't, overpay for Dobson. I mean, it would have been cool to see Dobson alongside Werenski, but I'm sure there are some really, really good players out there that Don Waddell can try to go after in free agency or via trade. Now, what does this do for the Blue Jackets cap situation? Well, in adding Coyle and Wood, the Blue Jackets get closer to the cap floor, as they're now at $32 million in projected cap space as of right now, and they have a projected cap hit of $62 million, which of course they need to be at $70 million to be at the cap floor. So they're still under the floor by a little bit. And if you're wondering too, of course, they still have their 2 first rounders they have a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th, and then 2 7th-round picks this year. Now, next year, they do have a 1st-rounder, 2 thirds, 3 fourths, 1 5th, 2 6ths, and a 7th. Okay. So we'll see what other moves they have in store. I'm really interested to see what we do in free agency. How aggressive is Don going to be? Right? Are we going to go big fish hunting? Like Ehlers or Marner, Ekblad? Or are we going to stick with more cost-efficient players? Have to wait and see. Or do we just say screw it and just go trade for Rasmus Anderson and stuff? I don't know. Hard to say what they're going to do. Only the Don knows what we're going to do. So yeah, guys. This might not be my last video tonight. Of course, if we do make our 2 first-round picks, I will have a draft reaction for them. Probably not going to know much about the player, but I'll still have a draft reaction. Okay, cool. So with that being said, I'll probably see you guys later tonight at some point. So with that being said, go Blue Jackets. I'm Crazy Dog, and I'm out. Bye-bye. For now. Possibly.